with some Madden Underground Xbox playoff divisional round. This time we have a great game for you guys slated. We have Diggs as the Buffalo Bills, and we have VA Dimes as the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm Black Phoenix here with my guy Philly Guy. Philly Guy, how are you doing today?
I'm ready to see what these upstart Bengals are bringing to the field today, sir.
Hey, me too, me too. So for those that don't know, again, this is once again the playoffs, so win or go home stakes. We have a Week 17 rematch that the Bills take over the Bengals 38-24. So these guys have played each other in a little bit of recent history here. So Philly, let's talk about these Buffalo Bills because we haven't really seen them too much on the games of the week. What can you tell me about the Buffalo Bills and what they bring to the table here?
Well, that's a great question, particularly because I'm in the division and I had to witness a lot of this firsthand. So, excuse me as I try to repress a lot of those painful memories, Phoenix. But for the most part, they love to throw the football. So, it doesn't matter what defense that you're in, you're going to expect to see pretty much everything coming at you out of gun bunch. And you'd better be ready for a lot of routes that are going to be attacking your safeties.
Yeah, and good thing you mentioned passing the ball right here. The Buffalo Bills and Diggs, they are number one when it comes to pass. So you know they're going to be airing it out here. And we're going to be seeing exactly what you mean here as we see Josh Allen hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt. Not Singletary, that's Kareem Hunt as he gains a gain of 4 yards right there. And you see Dimes coming out with this nickel over cover 4 quarters. Now, we've seen Dimes come out in this cover 4 quarters last time playing very aggressively. It worked out for the most part until he got burnt a couple of times, Philly. So what can we expect Dimes to do in this rematch? I'm sure he's pretty much done his homework on what the Buffalo Bills want to do here.
Oh, he's definitely done his homework. And, one of the things that we saw both receivers, Jamar Chase and also Stephon Diggs, get loose. But the difference maker was that man right there, Kareem Hunt, in the passing game, who was actually able to make some big plays for big yards with only 2 receptions.
Yeah, and just to mention Kareem Hunt real quick, he doesn't have any abilities, but he has some speed, and that's what he's going to use to get down to the 20-yard line right there. Big play right there, going with the counter wide play, something that you don't see too often out a bunch, and that's a big play first down for Diggs right now, Philly.
Yeah, that's a really big play, and it didn't help that the Bengals actually kicked the ball out of bounds on the opening kickoff. So they gave this Bills team excellent field position, and that's probably not something that they had wanted to do.
Yeah, and we see Josh Allen barking out the orders. We're going to take a look at Josh Allen's abilities after this as he takes a drop back. And that's going to be a free-form completion to Dawson Knox, a gain of 3. So for Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks that you have in the CFM right now, sleight of hand. So basically a bonus to pump faking. That's something that you really hardly ever, if anything, see in Madden. Probably like maybe like once every blue moon. But that's going to be an interesting ability as well as Power Master, Pass Lead, Fast Break, and Gunslinger. But interesting choice going with the sleight of hand ability, Philly. That's actually a super rarity right there.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to be able to see it in this game because Dimes understands he's going to have to bring pressure against this formation. It's really going to be that matchup and defending Diggs to see if he's able to get any of those ad catches and make big plays down the field.
And try to get it to Kareem Hunt once again. No gain right there. Sorry, barely a gain of 1. And that's going to be a field goal for Diggs right now. So again, first possession of the game, first drive, and Diggs is going to take 3. So if your Dimes right there, being able to stop this high-power passing attack to only 3 points, Philly, are you feeling good about yourself, or how are you feeling if you're Dimes right now?
Yeah, I mean, he has to be feeling very fortunate. He had the terrible special teams kickoff, so he was very lucky to only get away with giving up 3 points there.
Yeah, let's see what Dimes can do. Once again, VA Dimes coming in with the Cincinnati Bengals, beating wide receiver Woody to advance to this round. So it'll be interesting to see what he does against Diggs. So for those that aren't familiar with Dimes, again, one of the essentially the villains, so to speak, of Madden Underground, winning a ton of money as we've seen him win time and time again. So not a lot of people are too big of a fan of Dimes, but what's very interesting is that he's running the spread offense, something that we've seen earlier in our game with MP versus C-Jack, and C-Jack coming away with that one. But talk about the difference in spread playbook and usability between Dimes and MP there, Philly. Again, we've seen a lot of people use it, but Dimes has his own special way of running it.
And that's one of the things that Dimes has been doing for years. He was known when he first came into the league as actually being a runner. And then he started to implement the spread playbook, and he was actually pretty dangerous with that jet pass. So now he's just trying to mix it up. He's really worked on his game, moving the ball down the field. Doesn't ag catch as much as MP does, but he's quite capable. He just has a different way of trying to get the ball in the hands of his receivers.
And as you guys can see earlier, again, declining that delay of game penalty, that's great sportsmanship. Basically, it's just saying, hey, I know you set up your audibles. I'll set up mine. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. At least for this particular time, it's only a one-time deal. But other than that, you got to take the delay of game. As we see, a VA Dimes come out in this trio offset week. This is his base formation. As we see Joe Burrow throwing it out to the flat, and that's going to be Jamar Chase right there as he breaks a tackle right there. I thought he was dead to rights, but a great gain of 4 right there. But again, you see Diggs trying to make some adjustments to this this Dimes attack, and that time almost had him dead to rights, Philly, but unfortunately not able to make a play right there.
Yeah, and one of the things, if you pay attention, you'll see that Diggs is using his user to hover over the defensive tackle who's lined up head up over the center. And what that does is that causes a lot of problems in running the football. So I'm really eager to see if VA Dimes has labbed that and has an answer for being able to move the ball by running it against this dime defense.
And running it that he does. And that's going to be Joe Mixon right there for a gain of 5. Joe Mixon having that jukebox and human joystick. We've seen that come into play against his last game against Woody with Joe Mixon getting loose, having himself a great game. It'll be interesting to see what he does against Diggs' defense. That he has Von Miller with edge threat and under pressure, but no abilities to stop the run. So again, Dimes might be doing some scouting and might be leaning more on that ground attack right there, Philly.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we really have to pay attention here, and that is Dime's ability to run the ball. Because as you said, Diggs does not really have any interior defenders that have any abilities. So he's planning on shooting the gaps with his user to try to tackle Nixon in the backfield for a loss.
And you mentioned it earlier when talking about Dimes, that jet touch pass coming into play right there. Jamar Chase only getting 2 yards out of that, but that's going to be something to watch as the game progresses. How far does or how many times does Dimes rely on that jet touch pass to move the ball? Only a gain or 2 right there, so nothing doing. So Jamar Chase, for those that are wondering, he only has matchup nightmare and route tech. So basically, anytime he's slotted against man-to-man coverage, he's going to be able to cook his defender, linebacker, or DB. It does not matter, as Joe Burrow is going to try to throw a jailbreak screen, and that time really incomplete. That almost was a disaster right there, Philly.
Yeah, it was definitely a rush throw. And, we're talking about Jamar Chase. What we're not talking about is Tre'Davious White. So we got to pay attention to what abilities he has because we may find the two of them matched up against each other on a critical down and distance.
Yeah, and Tre'Davious White right there, superstar abilities, medium route KO, and one step ahead. And that's going to be an interception right there by the defensive lineman, Ed Oliver, and get the big man some oxygen real quick as he goes down to the 7-yard line. Huge play right there for Ed Oliver. Not something you see D lineman actually dropping back in the covers and making a play, but Ed Oliver able to get the job done right there, Philly.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to this replay because for whatever reason, the defense that Diggs is running allows him to be able to get Ed Oliver free in the run game, but also drop back into coverage in the pass game like we saw for the interception there.
And we're going to see if Diggs can take advantage of that. Again, that's Kareem Hunt right there. And that's a touchdown for Diggs and a touchdown for Buffalo Bills. Kareem Hunt punching it in. And that's going to be a 2-possession lead over VA Dimes, pending the extra point. And it looks like we're going to wait for Tyler Bass to kick this. And the kick is up and the kick is good. And that's going to be 10 points for Diggs right there. And that was a great run right there. Great play call by Diggs right there, Philly.
Yeah, it was really, really good. But I have to say, I've never seen VA Dimes play this bad ever. I've never seen him kick the ball out of bounds on an opening kick. I've never seen him make a poor read and throw it across the middle without paying attention to the user. And I've never seen him be down 10 points in the first quarter of an AFC divisional game.
Yeah, and again, let's see if Dimes can bounce back. Again, Ed Oliver, of all people, making the interception, something that you really don't see too often, but that's just a case of bad luck. But let's see if Dimes could turn this around as we see him come out in that bunch open offset and audible to this tight slot open, something that he usually either runs quick base or PA slot, or sorry, PA read, and that time going with the quick base as mentioned, and that's only going to be a gain of 2 right there. Joe Mixon not having himself the greatest game against Diggs' defense right now, Philly.
Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of having a crew is I would have thought that the Toxic Boys would have broken this particular defense down by now, and that Dimes would be running some counters, maybe putting some receivers in motion, anything to try to get Mixon loose in the game.
And Mixon almost got loose right there. 3rd and 1. You mentioned the Toxic Boys again. That's Dimes, B Guard, Dre Knowles, Jay Douglas, and the building. Shout out to those guys for the Toxic Boys. And as Dimes runs it one more time, that's Joe Mixon right there. The human joystick tries to do the jukebox move, doesn't break the tackle, and that's going to be a first down to the 45-yard line for VA Dimes. So sticking with the ground game again. You mentioned Joe Mixon. And if Dimes, being a little bit more of a runner, as we're seeing that right now in this particular game, Philly.
Yeah, and he's going to have to do that because the last thing you want to do is try to pass the balls. We see him hand it off to Mixon here again on that run pass option swing route. These are the things that are going to give him control of the game, control of the clock, into a rhythm, and give him an opportunity to get back in this game if he wants to try to win it.
Yeah, and that's on that slot offset, one of the best plays. I run that play personally, and that's one of my favorite plays to run. And it's so difficult to stop unless you have the right defense for it. And I knew as soon as Diggs came out, I was like, this ain't the right defense. He's going to hand the ball off. And we're going to see how Diggs adjusted this coming out. And again, once again, that dime normal cover 0. We've seen probably like a couple of high-level players run this in the competitive circuit, but that time, nothing doing for Dimes. Great defense right there as Joe Mixon loses 2 yards right there, and Coyle making the stop in the backfield, Philly.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to play Diggs twice this season, and I know that on last matchup, this defense really caught me off guard, and I pretty much tried every single running play that I had in the spread playbook to try to defeat it, and I came up short. So I'm really interested to see how VA Dimes is successful at being able to run the ball, even though it's 3rd and 13 here, and he's essentially in scoring range.
Yeah, and Coyle once again making a play right there. Shout out to B Guard in chat, one of the TVIs here for Dimes' crew right there. Dimes try to go with the quick base right there, nothing doing so. Like you mentioned, Philly, every run play that Dimes was trying so far unsuccessful, except for a couple of quick bases for big yards after broken tackles. But let's see what he can do here on 3rd and 13. Looks like he's going to go verticals here. And that's the call right now as he tries the ag catch right there. 4th and 13 right now. Opportunity to kick a field goal, 56-yarder by McPherson, and has the wind at his back, Philly, with 6 miles an hour.
Yeah, and McPherson has an ability. So, this is basically an extra point. I'm just a little surprised that Dimes pushed it that far to the right, and that was a lost opportunity for him to get back into this game.
Unbelievable. I think McPherson's got that clutch kicker ability, so not focus kicker. That would have slowed down the meter right there. And that's uncharacteristic as V-Guard has the same exact reaction I do, which is bruh. Let's see again how Diggs does on this particular drive, going with the counter right there. Kareem Hunt breaking tackles right there. Almost broke a second one for a big play. And that's going to be a 2nd and 10 right there. Again, maybe going a little too much with the counter ride right there. Dimes he prepared for it that time.
He definitely did. And he understands that if he's going to try to make Diggs one-dimensional, he knows that he's got to focus on the pass, but he cannot give up any big plays in the run.
Yeah, and again, you see Josh Allen dropping back. And speaking of Diggs, that's Diggs, Stephon Diggs. And let's see, again, that was a bunch trail play right there. Stephon Diggs with that short end, deep out elite ability. So you already know how deep out works. If he gets that one-on-one, he's going to definitely look to ag it, as that was a great completion. 1st and 10 for Josh Allen, and Diggs, as in the player Diggs, not Stephon Diggs, as he hands it off to Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt's going to keep fighting and fighting down to the 21-yard line, gain of 8 right there. And looks like Diggs is cooking right now, Philly, with this gun bunch attack.
Oh, he is definitely cooking. He's at home. He's the number 1 seed. His momentum meter is almost full. He's got a 10-point lead. He's got the ball, 2nd and 2. I mean, he couldn't ask for a better start to this game.
Yeah, better start. You are correct about that. Third and inches, Kareem Hunt, 6 for 46 and a touchdown. And like you mentioned, that momentum meter is actually going to be coming into play here as the hot hands and lockdown abilities are activated. So hot hands meaning he has improved catching. So we're going to see if he wants to look like he's going to act here as Diggs is going to be in motion, and he has a wide open wide receiver right there, and that's going to be a touchdown for Diggs. That looks like Gabe Davis right there making a huge play, and now Diggs is up 17-0. Kick is up, and kick is good. And wow, Philly, I did not expect this at all coming into this game, but Diggs is showing he is here, and he is here to stay as he goes up 17-0 against VA Dimes.
You know what? I would have said that I agree with you, except for I saw that game against I Run the Ball in Illuminati earlier, and I saw some things that I never thought that I would see. I also saw some divine intervention in that game between MP and CJack. So I got to tell you, man, at this point, anything is possible. And so it is what it is. 17-0. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in this first half. VA Dimes has got to figure something out if he wants to get back into this game. Otherwise, we're looking at an early GG's in the chat.
Yeah, and it might be GG. Shout out once again to BKP in the chat, another person in Madden Underground. Shout out to him. And I agree, this is my first time seeing Diggs play, and I'm very impressed on both sides of the ball so far as Mixon gets a first down right there off the handoff. 2 minutes left to go in the half right now. 17-0 Diggs as the Buffalo Bills VA Dimes here with the Cincinnati Bengals. And it looks like, speaking of bunch, that VA Dimes is deciding to go to the gun bunch with Joe Burrow. And it's going to be interesting to see what the play call is. Looks like bunch trail as the pressure looks like to be coming in. Joe Burrow rushes out and throws the ball away. So great defense right there by Diggs. His receivers are sticking to it. Dimes receivers are like glue.
They definitely are. And if you pay attention to his user, again, he's going to be controlling either that sub or middle linebacker in the middle of the field. And every time the Dimes comes out in a formation with receivers that are heavy to one side, you see him automatically drift in that direction. And Dimes has not been able to capitalize with any one-on-one opportunities with Jamar Chase. So it's going to be imperative that he figure something out very quickly.
Yeah, let's see if he does. Again, try to go with that wide trap out of that box set. That's not going to do it. Trust me. I know, especially against this cover zero set. So let's see what Dimes does. Again, 125 and ticking. So he has to make some plays happen here very quickly as the time is running out here in this first half. And it looks like Diggs is going to be sending the pressure, but that's fine because Dimes is going to get out and get into space. And Joe Mixon trying to make a guy miss. He does, and it's down to the 17-yard line. Minute 12 still ticking, but that's a play that you need if you're VA Dimes to come back in this game.
No, that was a perfect play. And we saw there, you pointed it out, that threat detector, I mean, that was the answer to the decisions that VA Dimes made on that down and distance because he was able to put his receiver in motion and get the ball to the open running back.
Yeah, let's see again. Dimes with 3 timeouts, not deciding to use any of it. Basically saying, hey, this is going to be the last play. He has beat open, didn't see it, couldn't throw it. And that's going to be a throwaway right there. 3rd and 10 right there. Nobody open except for that B receiver, but that pressure got in Philly to make Joe Burrow flush out all the way to the right side.
Yeah, so, that's one of the things we got to keep our eye on. He has all of his timeouts, but there's 16 seconds left. It's 3rd and 10. So we know that he's going to have to go for this. He's not going to be content just kicking 3.
Man, let's see how he does right here as he calls bunch trail once again, and that's going to be a incompletion right there. 4th and 10. Thought he was going to come down with the ag based off that animation, and that time unable to do it right there as he's going to call the field goal unit on the field. McPherson missing a field goal earlier from 56. Let's see if he makes it this time. It looks like he will, and that's going to be 17-3. VA Dimes coming up with 3 points right there. And, Philly, if I may indulge you for a second right now, again, Diggs is playing fantastic defense with this cover zero. Again, you said it yourself. You played against this defense. So is there anything that's really shocking about the way this game is turning out right now between Diggs and Dimes, or this is pretty much a complete shock to you?
Well, it's a complete shock to me because, like we talked about, they played in Week 17, and I would have thought that with there being film on the defense that we're seeing from Diggs, that Dimes would have had an opportunity to break it down with his crew. I know for me, the first time that I saw it, it was something that I was going to test, and I didn't have that opportunity to play him again in a playoff matchup. So I really expected for VA Dimes have an answer for that dime DB blitz and be able to move the ball effectively on the ground.
Yeah, and again, let's see if he makes some adjustments. Again, uncharacteristic of missing a field goal from 56. Thought that was going to be a pretty easy chip shot, and he ends up completely whiffing that. And then again, being stopped 2 times now, and then this one turned out to be 3. So let's see if VA Downs can make the adjustments as he gets the ball back at half. And again, shout out to everybody coming through. Appreciate you guys supporting and interacting in the chat. Once again, Black Phoenix, Philly guy on the call, Brian James on the ones and twos in the background. And again, playoff action, Madden Underground Divisional round. We got past the wild card round yesterday. So you know this is win or go home scenarios. Let's see again what Dimes can do as he comes out in this normal wide off. Looks like a jet touch pass, and it is. And Jamar Chase gets out, gets great blocking right there, and gets out of bounds at the 26-yard line, gain of 6 for his 2nd and 4. And you mentioned it earlier, Philly. These jet touch passes are what Dimes usually does to start his offense and get the momentum going. That time, a pretty good game, but the other times haven't been working so well for him.
Yeah, as we see him with, again, a little bit of a RPO action here, I feel like he's probing a little bit. Most of the time when we've seen him in these playoffs on the PS5 or the Xbox side, we've seen him come out with a lot of trips formation. He's looking for the bubble screens, and he's been able to successfully run the ball. Now that he's struggling to run the ball, we're really going to get a chance to see what type of downfield passing he has in his arsenal.
Yeah, and that was a big stop right there. 4th and 2 as the dime defense, not VA dimes, but dime normal defense that Diggs is running. That's Azarius Smith making the huge play right there with that double or nothing ability right there. 4th and 2, big play right here. Let's see if Dimes can convert here as Joe Burrow is barking out the orders against this gun bunch formation. And looks like he's going to throw it to the flat right there. That's Hayden Hurst right there. He's going to get a first down right there, down to the 45-yard line. And that's a huge play that Dimes needed to stay in this game, Philly.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we haven't given him enough credit for is he's made good reads outside of that interception that we saw him throw across the middle. And he's also making good adjustments for pass blocking to pick up whichever defensive back is blitzing him.
Coming down this tight slot open, motions Chase over, kind of giving that bunch look. Let's see what he kind of cooks up right here. Again, that pressure coming in and looping around. It's Dimes throws that, and that's going to be an incompletion right there as the momentum fills up. Hot hands is enabled for Diggs, and that's uncharacteristic of Joe Burrow right there. Thought it was going to be a easy completion, but ended up missing that completely, Philly.
Yeah, it was really surprising because you like the adjustments, you like the route combinations. He gave himself some options, and like we've seen at very rare and inopportune times in the playoffs, the quarterback simply has not made the throw.
That time making the throw as he connects with Chase once again, the LSU Tigers making a huge mark on this offense so far on this drive. And I kind of want to go into why he's missing those throws. I just realized looking at my notes here that Von Miller and Zadarius Smith both have under pressure abilities, which is going to cause Joe Burrow to miss some throws. And Joe Burrow doesn't have any dead eyes, but he's not going to need dead eyes this time as Joe Mixon is able to score right here for a touchdown. And just like that, Philly, we are back in this game with life from Dimes, and he's going to kick the extra point. Pending the extra point, it's going to be a one-possession game, or either way, it's going to be one possession. It's going to be down 7 now, 10-17. So just like that, Dimes coming back and fighting with some life right there.
Yeah, it was really important that he actually scored that touchdown on the ground, and that was an amazing run. And if he's able to continue to do that, he's going to have an opportunity to get back in this game because one of Diggs' biggest strengths is his ability to throw the ball. One of his biggest weaknesses is his ability to run the ball. So VA Dimes is going to have some opportunities here. He's just going to have to capitalize.
Shout out to Trace Talent in the chat from Facebook saying that Diggs got that defense from him. And again, worked out well for him until that run. And BKP saying, comeback season? No Drake? Hey, we shall see as Diggs is going to hand the ball off there to Kareem Hunt. Nothing doing. Great stand by Dimes right there. And that's going to be a 2nd and 10. Try to go with the quick base there. Nothing doing for Diggs right there.
And, you got to appreciate Trace Talented trying to take credit. I know that I will be coming and seeing you after these playoffs are over, Trace Talented. I did not appreciate this defense. It definitely had an impact on my season, so we will deal with that off the air. But right now, VA Dimes has an opportunity to focus on the pass and try to force a turnover out of Diggs here.
And coming over that nickel over right there as Josh Allen uncorks it. And that's going to be a completion to Stephon Diggs. So Diggs to Diggs connection right there. And that's going to be a 1st and 10 right there, Philly. Stephon Diggs completely toasting his man for a big play right there.
Yeah, we saw that pressure come up the middle, and you wondered what was going to happen. Is he going to hit him, or is he going to be able to get it off? We saw the answer. Big play downfield by Diggs, and Dimes is going to have to tighten up if he wants to try to get back in this game.
And Kareem Hunt thought he was dead to rights right there, getting a gain of 3, or it should have been a loss right there. As again, you mentioned, and the reason why he got that pass off, that gunslinger ability, even though it's not affecting the pass velocity, it does allow the faster quarterback release. So we see that gunslinger in action as Diggs was able to complete it to Stephon Diggs. As 2nd and 7 right here, Josh Allen. And we're going to see a fumble right there. And that's going to be a scoop and potentially a score as Taylor Britt gets the scoop and score. And there's nobody around him. And that's going to be a touchdown. And just like that, Philly, comeback season, as BKP mentioned right there. Game is tied right now.
You know what? I told you earlier, if I hadn't seen that game between I Run the Ball and Illuminati, I would not believe my eyes. It is a tremendous play by this Bengals defense. The momentum meter has dropped. The score is tied, and we've got a minute and 30 before we hit the 4th quarter. He's got to be feeling really good about his chances right now.
Oh, man, pressure is on. Palms are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. Here we go. Again, we see the people who are a fan of Dimes. Assassin, shout out to Assassin in the building. UMC in the building, stand up, saying Angels. BKP cheering, saying let's go. And let's see what happens here with, speaking of Diggs, had that play earlier and fumbled it with Josh Allen right there as he's going to complete it right there. That's going to be Dawson Knox. Takes a big hit from Eric Kendricks right there. And that's going to be a 1st down, getting that confidence back a little bit, Philly.
Yeah, and we saw Dimes drift a little bit on his user. Maybe he could have played a little shorter and made a play, but nevertheless, a big hit on Knox, and Dimes really seems to be getting dialed in on defense.
Yeah, and again, Hunter mentioned right there that fumble was a game changer. Let's see how much of a game changer is Diggs. Completes it once again to Diggs. That's that deep out of league coming back. And right now, Stephon Diggs is him, Philly.
Yeah, he is feeling himself and all those abilities you talked about. This is the one quarterback in the league outside of Patrick Mahomes that you do not want to see with all those abilities, because they can do amazing things like we're witnessing on this drive.
And again, Stephon Diggs making huge plays deep out of league. Josh Allen, hot route master. That's another ability that we didn't even talk about like that, especially with this bunch that is going to complete Dawson Knox in the flat, bounces around like a pinball, and it's going to be down at the 23-yard line. 4th quarter coming up, folks. Put your fours in the chat. We got ourselves a ball game right here. At first, I thought it was dead to rights, but we already got ourselves a tie ball game, 17-17. As you see right there, Philly, 14 points by Dimes in the 3rd quarter, completely turning this game around from a complete shutout that we thought was going to be an early GG's.
Absolutely. I mean, he's dominated the 2nd half, and all he needs to do is either hold Diggs to 3 or somehow force another turnover, and we may be talking about the comeback of the year.
Yeah, and again, shout out to C-Jack in the chat. Congratulations, sir. MP in the chat. We see you out there as Kareem Hunt is going to go for 2 yards right there. Try to run that quick base, 3rd and 4. Diggs decided to go a little bit of up-tempo as we see Stephon Diggs in motion to the left side of the screen right here. Let's see what happens. Diggs is wide open, and that's who he throws to. Stephon Diggs is going to go all the way, and that's going to be a touchdown. Diggs to Diggs connection, and that's going to be a touchdown going up potentially 7 here with an extra point, and let's see what happens. Kick is up, and kick is good, and just like that, Philly, Diggs had no worries right there, able to punch it in for a score right there.
Yeah, he definitely caught VA Dimes with his eyes in the backfield, was able to hit Diggs on the route coming back across the formation. And you got to wonder, even though VA Dimes did the right thing to kick that field goal, he missed it. And every game that we've seen thus far as we close out this divisional round, you got to wonder, are those 3 points going to come back and be a difference maker in this game?
Yeah, and that's well said too. I completely forgot about that. As has been a complete barn burner so far in this game. Again, let's see if that 3 comes back to haunt him again. Rhea Dimes coming out in this trio offset week. He is running that spread offense, and I don't know what happened. And that's going to be a sack right there. Zadarius Smith, 2nd and 13 right there. It looks like he got glitched out right there. And hopefully that doesn't happen again. I've never seen that out this whole entire year. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see how Dimes shakes that one off. Let's see Joe Burrow drop it back, and that's gonna be wide open. And he shakes it off completely. Tyler Boyd with some green grass in front of him. The defender is trying to chase him. Let's see if he gets down to the touchdown. He does right there, and just like that, no worries. VA Dimes ties it once again, Philly. So tied ball game right now, pending the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Very great response right there by VA Dimes.
Well, I like to call that the VA Dimes effect. Some people like to call it divine intervention, but it just seems like with him specifically, if EA does something that goes against him, they reward him in big ways in the future. And we saw that right then and there. We saw something could have been disastrous turn into something beautiful, and it was 6 points, and it's a tie ball game with 4:54 left to go in the fourth.
Man, the pressure back on Diggs again, and Diggs has been prolific so far with this passing attack. But this is becoming a boxing match quickly and easily, as we see in punch for punch. These players are not giving up. These guys are not willing to give up or quit or give in. Let's see what Diggs can do and see if he goes back to Diggs this time. And that's going to be a incompletion right there. Try to throw that corner route. Maybe threw it a little bit too late right there, Philly.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to get it. I mean, he's in the middle of the field, so his timing is a little bit off. Obviously, if he was a little bit more to the left, that probably would have been a completion, but excellent defense by Dimes.
And speaking of pass right there, that's Gabe Davis right there on that corner route, toasting that man defender right there. And just like that big play, Gabe Davis able to get down to the 26-yard line. Again, this passing offense is insane right now, Philly.
Yeah, well, you had asked about earlier, you were talking about the abilities on Josh Allen. And so one of the advantages that he has is those double moves that he's clearly putting as we see the sack by the Bengals defense. But when we see his receivers getting wide open like that, you better believe it's because they're running double moves and he's got the ability on his quarterback to get them the football.
Yeah, and we mentioned that sleight of hand ability. Not too many people running, giving that boost to pump faking ability. As we see Josh Allen throw a one in the ground right there, 3rd and 25. You don't want to get yourself out of field goal range, but this is dangerous territory right now for Dick. Start off great, and just like that, he's in a situation where he cannot afford a sack right now, Philly.
No, I mean, he's definitely got enough room where he's going to try to figure out what route combinations he wants to hit VA Dimes with. We know that he's probably going to be going to Diggs, but he decides to run the ball here, and that tells me that he's willing to either kick the field goal or try to go for it on 4th down.
Let me know in the chat for those wherever you're watching. Do you agree with that play call? Just simply running the ball and taking your 3 there, or are you passing it? As VA Dimes looked like he was about to block that field goal, this time unsuccessful, and that's going to be 3 points right there for Diggs, 27-24. And yeah, the animations are kind of coming. This animation is getting crazy right now. But Philly, you kind of mentioned it real quick. That 3 that Dimes missed earlier, this could have been a tie game, pending if everything went the way it went in this game. And Dimes could be in the driver's seat right now as potentially a last drive for the game.
Yeah, and I think that's the importance of his ability being able to run the ball against that trade for life dime defense. And that's his ability to control the clock in a situation like this when he knows that he has to score a touchdown to win and not leave any time left on the clock.
Onyx saying he's passing, then going for it. So going for the gusto, going full throttle. And again, VA Dime's unsuccessful right now against this run. That's, again, this dime defense has been causing issues, as Philly illustrated earlier. Played against this 2 times, unsuccessful. But again, let's see what Dimes can cook up right here. Again, Joe Burrow right here with Gambit, Fearless, Hot Route Master, Protect the Gunslinger, and Set Feet lead. So counter matching the abilities that Diggs has with Josh Allen. Let's see if that matters right here, as he's going to do this motion halfback swing pass and nobody home. Joe Mixon right there, going to get a 1st down and more. Let's see if he can outrun the defense right there. Defenders coming into play right there, and he's going to go down to the 29-yard line. And that's what Dimes can do for you, especially in the run game. You think one running back's going that way, you're so focused on the receiver routes that you completely forget about the running back right there, Philly.
Yeah, we're accustomed to seeing that halfback swing pass, but this is the first time that we've actually seen it during the game. What a time to break it out, and it had a huge impact on the game as we see him trying to establish that run game again with the jet pass.
Yeah, nothing doing. Jamar Chase, 5 for 37, not making the impact that he usually does for Dimes. And that's going to be a 2-minute warning. So here we go. It's going to be clutch time, crunch time. Palms are sweaty, mom spaghetti. Again, let me know in the chat who you think comes out on top in this one between Dimes and Diggs. We appreciate everybody coming out once again supporting. Shout out to all the members in the league coming out and supporting and showing some love in the chat right now. We appreciate you guys as Dimes is going to hand it off to Mixon once again. And that's going to be a gain of 4 right there. 3rd and 6 right there. Not going up tempo right there, Philly. Deciding to take his time and call the right plays.
I mean, he's definitely manipulating the clock, but he also knows this is 4-down territory. Now, if he is able to get the first down here, look for him to pick up the tempo just a little bit so that he's able to put himself in a position to make sure that Diggs never sees the ball again.
Yeah, and Hunnick saying, don't let the Bills have a chance to score, waste all the clock and score last. Let's see if Dimes listens to your advice right here as we have a 3rd and 6. And looks like it's going to be Hayden Hurst at the flat zone. Nobody home to defend him. And that's going to be a first down to the 10-yard line. And Diggs deciding to call a timeout right there. 1:15 left in the rest of the game. So Philly, do you agree with that decision? Or should you let Dimes have another down and then call your timeout?
Well, I think it's very important because one of the things we've talked about in some of the other games was every time that somebody's back was up against the wall like this, they refused to let their opponent score. So Diggs may want to have the ball last in his hands and know this is the only way to get it.
And Dimes looking like he's going to be rumbling and bumbling, stumbling down to the 2-yard line. Thought he was going to throw the bubble pass because Diggs did not go for it and defend it. But that's great recognition right there as we got a 2nd and goal right there. Diggs burning the 2nd timeout right here. And it's going to be interesting to see what Dimes does. Looks like he's going to be coming out in the gun monster, one of the hardest sets to stop, especially in the red zone if you're not prepared for it. And let's see if Diggs is. Your best bet is to hopefully baseline. And let's see if Diggs decides to do it as he does. And it's going to be interesting to see what Dimes decides to do. And Dimes gets out of that and decides to go to a regular set right here. It looks like a little bit of ace personnel, and that's going to be a jet touch pass and just Jamar Chase, and that's going to be a touchdown right there. Dimes fighting for his playoff life, and it pays off right there. Jamar Chase with the gritty, and that's going to be a touchdown for Dimes, pending this extra point right there. 6-mile-an-hour wind behind him, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And what a sequence right there for VA Dimes Philly, taking the lead with 1 minute left in the 4th quarter.
You know, you got to admire the beauty of that. He made the adjustment, had 2 tight ends in the monster formation. He knew he was going to audible down, and he caught Diggs out of position with his defense and unable to stop either the run or the jet pass. And so he was able to punch it in. But the real question is, how is he going to play Diggs with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go, knowing that Diggs has to score a touchdown, has 1 timeout left, and he's going to be force-feeding the ball to his 2-star receivers?
Yeah, and Who Dey Bengals coming in the chat saying, man, should have played as much clock as possible, left too much time. Let's see if you are right. BKP saying Dimes has got the defense this drive. Let's see if you are right. Again, let's see how this unfolds here as Josh Allen has been on fire right now and decides to throw the ball away, avoiding pressure right there. 2nd and 10 right there. Smart choice right there, not taking the sack, not throwing the ball where you can get intentional ground, but throwing it right outside the receiver's range to go out of bounds right there, Philly.
Yeah, and we see that cover 4 defense. And for those of you that haven't been following, you need to tune in. You need to subscribe. We got some information in the chat earlier in some of these games talking about the strength of cover 4 palms. And you wonder if that's something that would come into play here as we see him give up the big play down the field to Dawson Knox. Is he going to go down or is he going to go in for the score, which he does? And did Diggs score too fast?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Let me know in the chat right now. Did Diggs score too fast? VA Dimes with 3 timeouts. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And that's what you cannot play. Speaking of 4 quarters right there, it cannot defend that clear out play. It is horrible against that. And as we saw Dawson Knox just go straight for a touchdown and straight green grass right there. And again, Assassin saying dot, and BKP say, did he run cover 4? Yes, indeed. He did run cover 4. So again, we mentioned the time right there. 51 seconds left to go. 3 timeouts. Now, let me ask you, Philly. Did you think Diggs scored a little too quickly right there, or do you think he has enough confidence in his defense where he can stop dimes right there?
You know what? I don't think he really had any choice. We know he only has one timeout. He took what was in front of him. He likes his defense, and I think he feels comfortable trying to pressure dimes so that he can get the win.
Ooh, and that was dangerous living right there. That could have been GG's in the chat potentially as he tried to force it to Hayden Hurst right there. And that's going to be defended double coverage right there. Dimes trying to go with that box set and nothing doing with that verticals play. And Who Dey Bango saying did score too fast. It's now Dimes got a chance to drive it down. Joey B style, Joey Burr. Let's see if that's the case right here. Tight slot open, motion in the halfback across the formation here. As you see, Dimes adjusting his protection right there, IDing the mic on that slot corner right there. Double or nothing's activating. A is wide open, and that's going to be completion of chase right there. Makes a guy miss right there. Makes 2 and 3 guys miss, and he's going to go down to the 15-yard line, and that's going to be a timeout for VA Dimes. And if you're Diggs right now, Philly, that pressure coming on your defense and get a little sweaty in the palms right there.
You know what? That was an excellent play call. We saw the importance of having Hot Route Master, all the adjustments that are made. And right now, this game is VA Dimes to lose. He's got 2 timeouts, 36 seconds. He's on the 15-yard line. He's in the driver's seat. This game is here for the taking.
Let's see if he takes advantage. Dimes, clutch drive potential. Does he have the clutch gene in him? 1st and 10, going with that trio offset weak, motioning the halfback out, so you already know this is going to be a pass. Let's see what happens here as he throws a high point pass to Hayden Hurst, and that's going to be a touchdown right there. Touchdown, VA Dimes. 32 seconds left to go, pending the extra point. And once again, Dimes comes up clutch one more time as the kick is up and kick is good. 38-34. 32 seconds left to go. Chat, are you feeling this game right now? This is definitely the game I expected coming into this one, Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the question was, are you not entertained? But you had to know when that safety went with the corner, you had to know that the ad catch, the tight end was coming. It was there. Dimes knew it. He made the throw, got the catch. 32 seconds left to go. Diggs has 1 timeout left, and we know that he will not be running the football. So we got to see if Dimes is going to make that adjustment instead of calling cover 4 and leaving the middle of the field wide open.
And you see a quick pause there. The only reason you call a quick pause right there is to make sure you get all your defensive adjustments right there. That resets the defensive play clock so you can get another 15 seconds right there. As Dimes looks like he's going to be coming out in this prevent 3-deep defense. And yeah, that's something that you can learn. Again, this is something that you see a lot of competitive guys do. As Who Dey Bango says, yeah, this is a very good game. And Hunter, I agree. I'm glad everybody's tuned into this one. Great action here. Madden Underground Xbox playoff divisional round here. Diggs has the ball. Can he move it against Dimes right here? Dimes in that 3-deep set as we're going to see a throw by Diggs to Diggs, and almost thought he was going to come down with it. That time, great play by his defenders with a late breakup. And man, that was very close right there, Philly.
Yeah, and you know, that was a smart defensive play. I like this defense. I like the fact that VA Dimes understands that he needs to cover that inside slot because normally that's where Diggs is going to be going with the ball.
Yeah, and let's see if he covers it right there. And looks like Diggs is going to go another pass for Diggs. Yes, it gets out of bounds right there. 21 seconds. Again, still has that 1 timeout. And again, you know, you kind of wonder if VA Dimes is playing a little bit too passively with so much time left to go, and especially with 1 timeout right there, Phil. As Diggs has got the glow, that's that power of concentration. See, Jack mentioned to put that GIF in the chat right there, and we're going to see if Dimes actually doubles up Diggs as he has double me. Let's see what happens here as there's going to be a long pass right there. Josh Allen courts it, and that's going to be Gabe Davis this time. Time out right there for Diggs right there. 15 seconds left to go in the game. Very big plays back to back right there, Philly.
Yeah, and you know what? It came at the expense of his timeout. So if Dimes is able to make a play and get a tackle, this game may be over.
And let's see what happens right there. I thought he was going to throw it to Diggs right there, give him a shot. He decides to throw the ball with the Dimes coming out of that Tampa 2 defense, that 3-3-5 wide. Not the nickel normal that we are accustomed to seeing, as Diggs has still got the glow, so you got to pay attention to him pay attention to Gabe Davis, and let's see what Dimes decides to do right there. It's Diggs. He tries to throw it to Diggs. Nothing to do it. 3rd and goal right there, Philly. I think that might take away Diggs's double me ability right there.
Oh, it's definitely taking that away. But right now, he's got 2 opportunities to punch this in. And so VA Dimes does an excellent job on these first 2 downs. He recognizes the down and distance. He understands what routes that he doesn't have to cover. It's just going to be a matter of who's going to make the play. Is it going to be Diggs? Is it going to be Knox? Is it going to be Davis? Who do you want Diggs to throw to in this situation? We get to find out.
Let me know, chat. Who were you going to in the situation as Diggs and Dimes get stuck on his defensive line? That might be a touchdown right there. And it is right there. And it's going to be a ball game winner, maybe potentially a walk-off score as Stephon Diggs. The Diggs connection has been going strong all game long right there. Kick is up. Kick is good. 4 seconds left in the game. Chat, let me turn me up. This is extremely hype playoff football right now that we're seeing here. And Philly, just when you thought Diggs was out of it, he comes back, and Stephon Diggs has come up time and time again for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable catch and throw. There's really nothing that you can say right there. We saw so many defenders in that area. How he came down with that ball and was able to make the completion, I don't know. But this has been a hell of a game. And you know what? We got 4 seconds left, so I'm not going to rule anything out at this point.
Oh my goodness, we've seen so many things happen in playoff action so far, as we're going to see Dimes deciding to go with Joe Mixon, and that's going to do it. That is the ball game, folks. Diggs moving on to the next round, 41-38 over VA Dimes. Wow. Chat, let me know how you feel about that game. GG's all around. Put your GG's in the chat, man. That was such a great game right there. Once again, Diggs over VA Dimes right there. And Philly, man, wow. That got me turned up. That got me hyped right there. Coming down to the last minute right there with Stephon Diggs. It looks like in double or triple coverage as we see the replay right there. Linebackers don't jump right there. Dimes got caught slipping right there. It looked like Jermaine Pratt right there. And he got stuck on that defensive line. Got his toe drag swag in there just barely. As you see, the top of his toes get in the end zone for a touchdown. Wow, Philly. That's just amazing.
It is. And I will tell you, I am still going back to that missed field goal by VA Dimes because that's what's made this dramatic ending be what it is. If Dimes would have made that field goal, this would have been the play that would have sent them into overtime. So once again, we have missed field goals making the difference. We've seen amazing plays that have had a tremendous impact on the outcome of the game. And all you got to say is GG. There's nothing else that you can do differently. Come on over here, join Madden Underground, sit on the sidelines, be a spectator. We still having fun out here. We're done with the divisional round, and we've got a championship round to go.
Ooh, and if that's just the divisional, man, I can't wait to see what the championship round has in store for us, man. Again, that's a classic right there. If there was any game that's been a classic so far in these playoffs, that adds to it on top of the number of other games that we have seen earlier. Again, shout out to C-Jack MP for their game, Illuminati, the way his game ended against JB. And we're going to show you that play. I'm so sorry, Illuminati, if I see you in the chat, man, so I apologize if this is emotional damage to you. But again, we're going to showcase what happened in the Illuminati game as Christian McCaffrey thought when he was there with the Rice, breaks the tackle, but gets amazing blocking right there. And that was going to be the go-ahead score. I'm so sorry, Illuminati. He's saying, no, hey, I tried to save you right there. Hey, the commission had other plans, so it's not my call. It's not Philly guys' call. It's the commission. You already know who it is. We ain't got to say no names. But you already know how this goes. I'm so sorry, Illuminati. But again, we've had classic game after classic game, Philly, man. And this was just another addition to classic. And this is only season 1 of Madden Underground's season right now.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. Each round has gotten progressively better. This is only season 1. And I'm just going to say this because there's not a lot of people in the chat that either know this or they're just joining us for the first time. You need to understand that the AFC East has sent two participants into the AFC Championship, and I promise you, there is a lot of bad blood between the two. There was a controversy where the Buffalo Bills called out the Miami Dolphins, who were actually playing their games all the way from Colombia, and some abilities were lost. So you know that there is some payback and some bad blood that already exists, and this is going to be a game that you do not want to miss. So you want to make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button, get those notifications going. And I will tell you, even though we witnessed that tragic event happening against those Packers earlier today, you know, that 49ers and Panthers game, I mean, there's no bad blood yet. But there may be some bad blood depending on the outcome of that game. So you never know, because these games just keep getting better and better. And after this game between the Bengals and the Bills, we can now advance the league and move on to that championship round, get these games scheduled, and then bring you exclusive content like what you've seen in these past few days.
Oh, I can't wait, man. Again, these games have been fantastic. And like I said, it's got me hyped commentating them. But again, shout outs to everybody coming through. Again, events coming up soon, so we get to see what the matches are going to be looking like. So I already know the chat right now in the Discord is going absolutely bonkers, or will be going absolutely bonkers after we get up out of here. But again, from wherever you are, make sure to go ahead and join the Madden Underground Discord. Make sure to join the league. Sign up for that waiting list. If you've seen this action, you love it, or you think, hey, man, that gun bunch wasn't spectacular, I could beat that. Well, let's put your money where your mouth is. Go ahead and sign up, MaddenUnderground.com. Once again, MaddenUnderground.com. Have both leagues on Xbox and PS5. So again, feel free to sign up and join that waiting list and potentially take one of these spots. You never know. But again, you know, this was a barn burner, a boxing match. This was pay-per-view for free. But again, great game. Bob Diggs coming out on top against VA Dimes. It's going to be interesting to see who makes it to the Super Bowl out of this. Again, Philly, this has been a fantastic showcase of what Madden Underground is all about. Competitive games at the highest level right now.
Yeah, I mean, you really couldn't have said it any better. You know, everything that we've seen, there's so much skill that's involved. And I know these guys make it look easy, but they spend a lot of time perfecting their craft. And like we talked about it in some of the other games that we showcase, it really comes down to the little things. It really comes down to the play calling. It really comes down to being ready for big moments. And you never know what's going to happen on that field. You just have to make sure that you just take those punches, keep getting up off the floor, and just fight until the clock turns zero. Because as we just saw, you never know when that play is going to make a difference. And the Bulls come away victorious against the Bengals with 4 seconds left to go on the clock. Stop making fun of my accent. We got Brian James in my ear there trying to make fun of my East Coast accent. It was Bills. He thought it sounded like Bulls. I'm a Knicks fan, so don't go there, Brian James.
But again, as we're going to get out of here, once again, final score 41-38. Again, you guys, Philly mentioned the little things right there. Again, abilities, personnel, scheme, scouting, using your coaching points. You know, we see it all here transpire in this playoff. So again, once again, shout out to everybody coming through and supporting, whether you're watching on here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate you guys supporting and coming out. Again, we should see more games coming out tomorrow. So make sure you keep it locked here. Once again, my name is Black Phoenix, Philly guy, Brian James on the ones and twos in the background. And for all the Madden Ground staff and support, hey, appreciate you guys. And we see you guys next time here on Madden Underground. Peace.